When I decided I was gonna jump in feet first into really being a content creator, I wanted my very first real video on my own channel to be something poignant, something that mattered, something beyond funny TikTok, which I think is great. I really do. Everybody does. But I wanted this to be a little more meaningful. And that's when I knew that my first video needed to be about some of the most incredible women I've ever known. And I am lucky enough to get to put myself into that same category, which is amazing. To be able to classify myself in the same group as some of these incredible women it's an honor. So my first video on my own channel, launching my content career, it had to be about truckers' wives. Our truckers, they're the heartbeat of the nation. Don't get me wrong. They give us something to be proud of. But us, we're like the pacemakers because we're their heartbeat. That's a big job. You have to be completely comfortable with not seeing your partner, your love, your soulmate for weeks on end. Don't complain. It's part of the job. You knew what you signed up for. Missed Christmases, missed anniversaries, missed birthdays, missed births, graduations. You name a big life event, a trucker's wife has done it alone. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we take it on the chin. Because again, it comes with the territory. We knew what we signed up for, didn't we, ladies? That's okay. We find a way to make it okay for ourselves. We create the magic for the children. And we nurse our truckers because it's hard for them too. They don't want to miss those moments. It's not easy for anyone. Being in a trucking family is hard for everyone. And I'm definitely going to cover that down the road. Maybe that'll be next week's video, Children of Truckers. But we have to start with the pillar. We have to start with the backbone, ladies, and that's us. You talk to any trucker's wife, you know. I don't care if she's been doing it 6 months, 12 years, 20 years, 40 years. She could name at least 3 different times where the world went off the rails. Death, chaos, destruction, accidents. We were expected to handle it on our own because it's the way it is. We have to be so completely competent all the time, which is, I'm a ditzy heifer. Competency isn't always my forte. When it comes to handyman shit, I can't do it. No. Again, different video. There's so much we are expected to handle at the drop of a hat. 3 years ago, after I had surgery on my back for a spinal cord issue, it was January, -20. My horse went down. My horse ended up dying that night. And there was no shoulder to lean on. It gets hard. And that is just one small instance. But you never realize in those moments when things get so heavy how much you need a hug, a hand, support. And while our drivers, they're there for us as much as they can be emotionally, it's on us. We have to handle it. And we do. And we do. Without fail. Because who else is going to do it? I'm going down a separate path. But I digress. I have a million stories like that. I could talk until you couldn't stand the sound of my voice anymore about it. And I know many of you are the same way. We have a unique path. There's so many of us. We could create our own little village, but we're so focused on keeping our families running because we're the ones doing it. And it's hard to be a wife. It is hard to be a housewife. I don't care what your husband's profession is. keeping a family together, running like clockwork, that shit takes some skill. It's harder when your person is gone all the time. And that might sound like I'm complaining. Please don't take it that way, because I'm not. I love my life. I love our life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Now, 5-10 years ago, if you would have asked me, do you want your husband to come off the road, I would have done a double backflip, buck naked, down Main Street to get that man to come home. But these men, they got those white lines in their blood. And it would be cruel of us to ask them to stop. And it would be cruel on us to ask them to stop. Because once you get used to them being gone, having them in your space all the time, that's something else. But again, that's another video for another day. I could talk forever on this. I really could. And this is so jumbled. I didn't come in with a plan because it's so close to my heart. I just wanted to connect with other truckers' wives. And if you were not a trucker's wife and you were a trucker and you were watching this, as soon as, now let's hold on. Watch the whole video, like, subscribe, all that. And then I want you to tell that woman in your life how thankful you are for her. I want you to acknowledge what she does for you, for your family, for your children, because she deserves to hear it. She'll tell you every time. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to thank me. But being acknowledged for working so hard, especially when it's for your family, for the people you love, boy, it matters. It does. So, taking a moment to pause here with my ramblings to just tell her how much you appreciate her. Bring her some damn flowers. Give her a back rub. Do the dishes. There's a million ways to help the woman that does everything she can to help you. I think I'm gonna have to make this a series. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write it down. Because truckers' wives, we don't have representation in the media. It's not, even though it's one of the most common jobs in our country, how many other trucker wives do you know? And we're all hermits. We are all hermits because we've got so much on our plate. Give us a break, we understand. But we don't have a lot of representation. So we don't get to have the discussion about the depression, the stress, because unless you were in this life, no one gets it. And that's okay. It's not their path to understand. But we need a voice. We need our own little community, and we need to come together. And that's why I'm here. We deserve it. We matter, damn it. So, do me a favor, and please leave a comment. Let me know what you want to discuss. Let me know what you want to know, how other wives handle it. Let me, if you are a seasoned 20-year trucker's wife vet, what would you say to that woman that it's her first year? God dang, she's struggling. She's lonely and she's having a hard time. Our community matters. I'm getting so scatterbrained that I'm just gonna have to ask you to forgive me with this. My first post, it's a little all over the place. It's not fine-tuned, but know that the discombobulation comes from such a deep place of love, because I care. I fucking care. I have been alone in this for a long time. I have tons of really good friends that would listen to me talk about anything if I needed it. I have a couple of best friends that would do anything for me. But again, if you're not in this life, if you don't live it every day, it's not the same. So I wanna hear from the truckers' wives. I wanna know what's on your mind, what's on your heart. I wanna know. This did not go in the direction that I was wanting it to go. I wanted to sit down here like I was Oprah, pour my heart out about how amazing truckers' wives are, our struggle path, our wins, our losses, what breaks our heart, what gives us hope. But I simply think that's too much to cover for one, 10-minute video. So it's gonna have to be a series. I have a lot of goals for this. I did not mean to gain any traction, be the woman talking about trucks. That's not what I ever thought this would turn into. I didn't expect to have a voice that was listened to about this particular subject. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got a voice. I've got opinions. Oh, I've got opinions. I'm rarely quiet, and I'm hard to ignore. But I am thrilled to be using my voice, to be heard about something that is so near and dear to my heart, and I know it's near and dear to yours too. The trucking world, the industry, it runs our country, it runs our world. And yet the people that run that industry, rarely thought about, never thanked, rarely appreciated. I am stoked to be a voice. I really, really am. So, the next time somebody says to you, just a housewife, there's no fucking such thing. Just a trucker's wife. Couldn't last a day in our shoes. Couldn't last a week. Couldn't last one crisis. Don't let these suckers get you down. You're amazing. You are phenomenal. You carry the weight of the world on your shoulders with a smile. When you're crumbling, when you're empty, you're still carrying everybody else. You're still filling cups even though yours is empty. You matter. And I am so proud of you. And I am so thrilled that we get to be truckers' wives.